Yo peoples, good morning. I'm not going to look at too much because I am driving and I want to pretend that this is a safe thing to do. I'm on a quest. I am on a quest to find the holy Shoji screen. I'm doing chair massage at this big fair this weekend. As we speak, there is no divider between the booths, and I think people will be much more likely to get chair massage if they're in like a safe little nook environment, and that is why I'm driving 3 hours in order to pick one up on Craigslist for cheap. I'm hoping that I can get 2 more if people call me back in time. So I know that that's kind of crazy. My day is crazy, and I am excited by that. And it's been a while since I took a good road trip, so I actually am looking forward to this. I'm going to play some good music, some good talks, and I will let you know what kinds of interesting thoughts pop into my brain. And you'll get to watch my hair slowly dry over time. How fun. So something big happened yesterday. I made my videos public. You see, I started out posting them all unlisted and sharing them with just a few of my closest friends, and they shared it with some people that they knew, and so I've been getting, a little bit of feedback, and I've been getting good feedback. People keep telling me, keep doing it, this is really cool. I've decided that I'm not going to make too much of an effort to separate it, and that eventually I might even share it with clients, certain clients that I think that it could benefit. So yeah, that feels really good. So that means that from now on, random strangers on the internet might be watching these videos. Hi random strangers on the internet, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for watching my video. I think it's really cool that now I could start collecting friends from all over the world who all we have in common is that you're interested in the same things that I am. I would love to hear from you about who you are and what your response is to what I have to say. Like, what do you think about it? Let's have a conversation. So, I have been listening to a podcast of Jeff Foster speaking about non-dualism. So, I have 4 favorite teachers at this point. They're all non-dual teachers. They are Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, Paul Hederman, and Jeff Foster. So the first 2 are very well known, and you probably have heard of them. The second 2 are less well known, you might not have heard of them. Jeff Foster was just talking in the podcast about how there's no practice that he can recommend to help you move toward awakening, because he said no practice led to him awakening. And I was just reflecting on how it's interesting, because of these 4 favorite teachers that I have, 2 of them awakened completely spontaneously with no effort at all. Byron Katie and Eckhart Tolle, neither of them were spiritual seekers. They were both just people that were suffering a lot, whose ego imploded, basically. And the other 2, Paul Hederman and Jeff Foster, are both people who were seekers, who actually came across the non-dual teachings and who engaged with it and who awakened. And I just think that it's interesting that 50% of my favorite teachers are that type and 50% are the other. It's kind of nice to know that there are people who were looking for it, who found it. It's not just people who accidentally experienced it. But what Jeff Foster has said, it's just like that teaching story. I think it's a Zen teaching story about the man who's running and running and running. He's looking for enlightenment, and he runs past a monk, and the man stops to talk to the monk for a second, and he says, "I'm looking for enlightenment, which way should I go?" And the monk says, "Oh, it's just around the corner, keep going." And so the man keeps running, he runs around the corner, and he collapses out of exhaustion and falls over, and as he's lying on the ground, he becomes awakened. And basically the point of that story is exactly what Jeff Foster said happened to him. It's like there is all this doing and seeking and searching and doing practices, which is like the man running, and that the only good that seems to do for anybody, or that's the only good that it did for Jeff, is that he became thoroughly exhausted from it, and then all of a sudden the awakening happened to him. But he insists that it was not a result of doing the practicing. If the seeking was in any way connected to the awakening, it was only because he became thoroughly frustrated and exhausted by it. I still don't know what to do! So I'm going to keep listening. I'll let you know if I happen to become awakened by accident. Or maybe I won't. I have no idea. Can you see that? It's so foggy and amazing. This is a really beautiful drive. So I realized that I just kind of jumped into this whole talking about non-dualism thing, and I haven't said much about it before. I feel a little shy to talk about it because I don't know how many people out there are really interested. So what is this whole non-dualism thing, or what's my relationship with it? I think that I am a seeker, and I hesitate to say that because all of these teachers that I love, they would say it's not a good thing to be a seeker. But I think that for me, to say that I'm a seeker is just me being honest. So I understand that might not be a good thing, but that is the reality. Whether I'm seeking awakening or seeking just to have more happiness and joy in my life, I don't know. That's just how I am. I'm always looking to learn something more, to heal something more, to find more joy and happiness in life, to improve. I'm always improving myself in every way that occurs to me, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think the teachers would say that's a bad thing either. I think they would just say that it's irrelevant to awakening. So it's not bad. It's just that's my life, you know. And it's been working for what it does, you know. I have become a more functional and happier and more successful and more secure person from all the many different things that I do to heal and grow. But I think that what they are saying is that all of that basically is just making my personality better or making my personality happier. But that personality is still a limited idea of who I am, which is false. So it's relatively important, but absolutely unimportant. I think that's what kind of the way that Eckhart Tolle might put it. I think it's about realizing the reality of life. And a big part of that seems to be that having a separate self is just an illusion. And that a lot of the suffering of life is the attempt on the part of the illusory separate self to find satisfying evidence that it's real, and that search always falls short and always leads to suffering. And when a person ceases to be a person and they just become life, then they don't suffer anymore because they are life. So how can life suffer? You know, suffering implies that you're resisting something, and if you are everything, then why would you resist anything? I don't know, you know, that's just coming from a mind that's accumulated ideas and had some experiences, but I'm definitely not Jeff Foster. He talks about those experiences and how they come and go, and how that can be very frustrating for people who are on a spiritual path because they never last. Maybe you get a taste, and I have gotten tastes, and none of them have lasted. And that's what he says about practices. Practices will get you those tastes, but they won't create the permanent shift. And apparently the permanent shift, I don't know, happens by itself or something. I'm going to keep listening. So why am I interested in this stuff? Why bother, right? Like, are you, maybe some of you wondering about that? Like, why do I care about this non-dualism stuff? It started with Eckhart Tolle. He was the first teacher that really caught my attention when I read his book, The Power of Now. I was living at Kripalu at the time as a volunteer. I was 18. I was going through a lot of transition. I was coming of age, really, and I read that book, and I had a couple of experiences of the present moment that were really interesting to me, and that got me curious. And I read that book over and over again. I carried it around with me all the time for a while, and I was really trying to do that practice that he talks about in there of just being present in your body, basically. I really started to practice that a lot, and it felt great. And later I found Byron Katie and started doing the work, questioning my thoughts. And that has, everything that I do, I only do it because I tried it and I had a good result. I pretty much don't do anything just because somebody told me that I should. I'm a rebellious person, and I don't respond well to somebody just saying, like, just do it because I said so. So, like, I just want to share that, like, I know that I do a lot of unusual practices with my thinking and with my eating, and I just want to say that everything I do, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it because I tried it and it gave me a result that I wanted, and that's why I'm doing it. Doesn't mean that you should do it or that you need to do it, but I appreciate respect for the fact that I make choices based on what works for me. Yeah, so I questioned a lot of thoughts because every time I did the work, I got this feeling, usually around the fourth question, which is, who would I be without this thought? I would get this experience of myself without the thought, and it would be a beautiful experience. I feel like every time I do the work, I get to see through a little window into what life would be like if I wasn't believing my thoughts, and it's a window to a beautiful world. So that excited me. I went through a time when I was doing it, like, every spare moment that I could find, I was doing the work. And I loved it. I haven't done it very much lately. I'm not sure why. I think that I've just got interested in other things, but I'm sure that it'll come back around. When I try to find a reason for why I'm so firmly interested in this over so many years, the thing that I come back to is a spontaneous experience that I had, and it was around that time, I think it was 18 or 19, it was around that time that I had gone to Kripalu, so I guess that it was triggered by some of the ideas and experiences that I had there. But I would love to share that experience with you, but I don't know if this is the best time to do it. I think I'd rather do it when I'm not driving and I can put my full attention on it. It's a really special experience to me, but I can summarize it right now just by saying that I felt like I got a taste of infinity. Like, yeah, that's all I can really say. And it was really nice. And it felt realer than anything else in my life has ever felt. And so that convinced me. Basically, I believe them. When they say that separateness is an illusion and everything, I believe them because I saw that. I think that's why life gave me that experience, is just so that I can know for myself. Like, I know that this is true. Yeah. Time to cross the foggy bridge! Woo! Anything worth saying, you guys? I can't see what you're saying.